Wagwan, everyone. I hope you're doing well and welcome back to a stream up on Tereak Talks, guys. As you can see, no more do-rag, no more silver fox, fresh trim, first time in a long time. And you know what? I'm glad to be sharing it with you guys. This is what I get myself trimmed for. I don't really go out like that anymore, but this is what I'm here. And I'm here for you people. And you know what? Do you know who else is in here? Looking all blue today, but his microphone, to be fair, he sounds even louder when we was doing the audio checks. I'm his sidekick, the man himself, the one that you guys come for, Ed Min. How you doing, bro?
Not too bad. How are you?
I'm good, my brother. I'm good. I'm looking forward to this. It's going to be an interesting one, a preview/review. I mean, you could just say preview, couldn't you? Because it's a mix-up. It's a nice mix-up, but I know it means two different things.
It's all the views.
It's all the views. Yeah, all the views here. And let's go into the chat. Let's give everyone a big hello. We got Eagle-Eyed Football. Big up yourself, Rich. Nice to see you, man. We've got Jay in here as well, who also says, big up team, my bro, and big up Ed. Appreciate that one, Jay.
Thanks, Jay.
We got Josh. My last predictions were so bad, honestly. I'm not too sure about that, am I? I'm not too sure if it was as bad as you think.
No. I don't think so.
Hey, Josh, we got a surprise for you coming up when we start talking about the fixtures. Look at B&B. T is on Uber time.
That was on me. That was on me. I'm still on dad duty. It's a lot of rushing around today. This one's for once is on me.
Hey, B&B, don't follow the stereotype, Eddie. Don't follow the stereotype. But I hope you're doing good, B&B. We got Moss in here. How are we all doing? We're good. Our picks good. Picks for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. What about CL draw? We'll talk about that, Moss.
Got it all covered, Moss.
Got it all covered. Everyone saying hello to each other. Champions League draw, trying to do the F1. We'll get into that as well. We got Wilf in the place.
Yes, Wilf.
Big up, Wilf. Nice to see you. Oh man, it feels like it's been a while. We got Grace in here as well. Hello, Big G Staffy. We got Paxton, the man himself.
Ow!
Ooh,
no, never. Ow!
Yo, Paxton, you're treading on thin ice there, but it's nice to see everyone. Thank you in the chat. We'll get into your comments. Make sure you get your predictions ready. And he wanted a worse hat. You're not having that. No more fresh trim. I've got my next one booked already. And yes, we was late. Apologies for that. But anyways, Ed, do you know what? Should we get started? Do you think they're ready for it?
I think we should get it going.
Before we get started, there's a few things we want to talk about. And as Ed has kindly and thankfully put it into the banners, the Champions League redraw. So let me take this off the screen for now. Guys in the chat, let me know your thoughts. Ed, what was your thoughts on that debacle, as you put right there?
It's hilarious. It's hilarious. Maybe it's hilarious for me because I don't have a dog in the fight. So funny. Of admin errors going all over the show. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Tell me about it. And that's and you know what? There's a lot of conspiracies already with the Champions League being a thing. And that's been going around for a while. You know, when Barcelona are in it, UEFA Lona and all of that. But you know, it looks like that they're Chelsea getting Lille twice. How fortunate is that? But at least we get to see Johnny D. You know who we're talking about, Moss. Jonathan David up against Chelsea. Maybe that's a good watch for in the summer if Arsenal decide to go for him. Hey, what about you, Ed? Renato Sanchez, you get a good eye on him if he stays fit.
Yeah, if he stays fit. But yeah, I reckon that was a lot of nonsense us getting him at the end of the transfer window. I didn't see it happening and it didn't happen. So I'd love him. He's exactly what we need and Portuguese. So if ticks all the Wolves boxes, but I don't see us getting him.
So just quickly off the bat, let's just do this quick fire. So for the English teams, we've got Atletico Madrid versus Manchester United. Who goes through?
Atletico.
Oh, Sporting Lisbon versus Man City. And let's go next. Liverpool versus Inter Milan.
Liverpool should do that.
Chelsea versus Lille.
Chelsea. I don't think it'll be as easy as you think, but Chelsea still.
Yeah, I think we've done everyone. Yeah, that's everyone, isn't it? Yeah, that's all the English teams, and then Barca versus Napoli. That's also in the Europa League. That's a Champions League tie in the round of 32. Interesting, that one. And what else are the people in the chat saying? watch the Champions League draw with clown and proper ambience. Tell me about it. That one. What else? Atletico, if I'm being honest. Yes, Simeone will and his way through. That's the type of football he is. The Spanish Burnley. So I'm surprised Ed went with him. With
Didn't say that score. I just said
true. There's no. By the way, guys, let me just say, I'll probably
no away rules, right?
By the way, there's no more away goals. So that's going to be much more interesting. And I think it'll make a better game in the first leg. It won't be as cagey anymore. But after talking about that debacle, we got into 2 topics now that we just need to quickly talk about, which it's a bit of a sad note. And do you know what? We'll do this one first. The dreaded C word. Guys, as we're seeing at this moment in time, if you are in the UK, you see Boris Johnson and all the situations going on there. What is it like? I don't know what it's like in your country, but you know what the dreaded C word is, the pandemic. What is plaguing football at the moment, and we're not too sure if certain games will go ahead. What have you seen anything on the news lately, Ed? I've seen about the Brentford Man United.
Yeah, Brentford Man United, and I think it was 42 players and staff have tested positive, which is the most in a 7-day period since it all started. So yeah, it's coming back. It's coming back.
Yeah, exactly. No, not that one.
Not that one.
So, but yes, it is coming back. And do you think it's going to ruin? What do you see? What do you see? Do you see the fans staying in the ground?
Oh, do you know, as much as I'd hope so, I want people to be safe.
Yeah.
So it's difficult because football without fans is pointless, absolutely pointless. How many of us loved watching every game was on TV? You think, wow, brilliant. But with fake noise, or for me, listening to Connor Cody shout is funny for maybe the first game, 2 games, and then it's nothing again. It's nothing again. And all we have as football fans is the ability to go and watch a game. And I think you saw that when Everton left. The Everton fans did that pretty poor walkout, but that's the only power they've got, isn't it? We have no power over what happens in football. Sky, DAZN, the FIFA, UEFA, they're the ones who hold all the money. So all we have is going to games, and there's nothing better than going to a live game and watching a goal go in. So I just think, this is. I'm hoping Rich is wrong there. But,
same. I'm hoping, and then gonna cry. Yeah, definitely. I hope you're all wrong, and I hope that there might be snow, and they did have it, and look how it's been passing around. And please have fans for the Millwall game and Brighton game at least. So it will ruin a lot of those games and a lot of those derbies. But we've quickly spoken about that. What's this? Haven't thrown out the pack.
They're on about Spurs.
Oh, have they? Oh, yeah, love that. Keep going in the chat. And they can't afford to do another one. It doesn't seem like it. That's probably why they're so anti it and pushing out, certain things in the country. But you know what? That's political. We will get a political on this channel at times, but we need to get bigger first. But yes, the next thing we want to talk about, this is the sad thing, back to football, more football related, and this is quite sad before we get into the preview. The end of an era. Sergio Aguero is going to retire, according to Guillaume Balaguer. Ed, how's this making you feel? Someone who's had such an impact on the game in our league, had, I think, the greatest moment that I've witnessed watching football as a neutral.
Yeah, I think as a neutral, there aren't many better than that Aguero moment against QPR. He's going to go down in history for that. But what a player, by the way. What a goal scorer. What a player. He came in and transformed that Man City team. He was at Atletico before, wasn't he? And kind of burst onto the scene. But prolonged goal scorer at the top levels. Unbelievable footballer. Real shame. Real shame that it goes the way it goes now, where he's sort of going out with a whimper, going out with, health issues. You don't want to see that, whether it's someone like, Dean Ashton. Do you remember him back in the day? He went out as a next thing, but this is Aguero. This is huge. This is a huge player.
Exactly. And B&B, what you're mentioning there, there is a lot of it going on at the moment, because there is a lot of those theories being passed around because of certain things happening. But we'll have to wait and see, really. And
nothing's helping their debt problems.
I know. And just quickly on that one. We'll talk more into it when we get into the Premier League preview, but Aubameyang is now being linked with Barcelona, so that could.
How can they afford him? I'm sick and tired of every morning I go BBC gossip. Barcelona linked with you can't afford him. Stop it. What's the point?
True. It's true.
What's the point?
And guys, we've ended all the down topics because we want to lift it up. We want to lift you guys up now. But before we do that, do not forget to hit that like button if you haven't done so already. So make sure you do hit that like button. Get in the comments. Get your predictions ready. Get them all ready now. We're going to start off with them. And don't forget to share this stream. And if you're watching it afterwards, people, we know we got some comments in before for the last stream, and you got your comments in after the stream. It was from the Hornet. What was it? Was it Rory the Hornet?
Roberto.
Oh, Roberto.
Rory the Hornet.
Sorry, big up yourself. So yeah, if you are watching this afterwards, do get your predictions in. It'll be much appreciated, even if it's after the Tuesday games, whenever. So yes, let's get started now. Get ready, people. Get your fingers ready in the chat. So let's start off with the first game, which is Brentford versus Manchester United. So Ed, because this is a bit of a preview as well, should we talk about Brentford? Did you catch any of the highlights for the Watford game?
I did. They fought back at the end, didn't they? I think it was a Brian Mbeumo shut us up as well, saying he never scores. Took a nice penalty away. It played out pretty much like I said it would be, though. It had a championship feel to the game for me. I think some of the players resorted to type, and what a ridiculous tackle at the end by Troost-Ekong, was it?
Yeah, I couldn't believe that.
Silly challenge.
If I would have made that whilst I was playing, Ed, what would you have said?
I'd have had a go at you. I'd have had a go at you, big. Don't dive in. Don't dive in. No foul is what I would have been shouting.
Yeah, I've heard that, those two words. No foul, no foul. You hear that a lot. If any of you guys have ever played Sunday League, or actually not even Sunday League, any level of football, that's probably gets shouted at the most by whoever's on the sidelines, by your own centre-back. And then usually follows that is a foul.
Foul, always.
Yeah. So that was interesting. Brentford picking up that win in another relegation 6-pointer. But as Richie said there, he reckoned this game, because of the cases at Manchester United. So you are right. Thanks for bringing that up. But Josh has got his predictions in. Paxton's got him in. Wilf's got him in already. And he's got the goal scorers there. So just in case it does go ahead, we're still going to preview it. The chances are it won't. So we won't spend too long. But we'll talk about Manchester United now, who came out 1-0 winners against Norwich away from home at Carrow Road with Ronaldo scoring a penalty. For me, it was a penalty. Did you see it, Ed? Did you think it was a penalty?
Yeah, it's a penalty. Yeah. Is this the Max Aarons tackle?
Yeah.
He's tackled Ronaldo on Ronaldo's reputation rather than he's gone for that because it's Ronaldo, it's in the air, but he isn't going to get up that high, even as high as he can get. But it was a panicked tackle, maybe also from a right back that found himself in a centre back's position. Probably didn't help there either. Yeah.
No control in the game for Manchester United.
No.
However, this is how I expect Manchester United to play this season. No control, especially away from home. But they've just got the quality in the end which Norwich didn't have. But we'll talk more about Norwich's performance when we get into them. So, Ed, here we go. In terms of the injuries and suspensions, if this game does go ahead, there still may be more. Let's not forget, because these players may have maybe infected, may not be able to play. So with Brentford, they have got Ivan Toney back for this game if the game goes ahead. Whichever game it is, unless injury happens afterwards, he will be available. They're still without Christopher Gier, David Raya, Zanka, a.k.a. Matthias Jorgensen, Julian Jonvier, and Josh Da Silva. And for Manchester United, this could be a welcome back for Edison Cavani and Aaron Wan-Bissaka.
Well, that's interesting. So T's internet's probably gone down. Right. I'll do the. I can't do it as well as him, but I'll carry on with it. So we've got Varane. He's still out. Martial's out, and Pogba's still out. Don't quite know what's happened with Tereak here, but he also had the spreadsheet and everything up. So we're flying without the host here. So so for Brentford Man United, just one interesting fact that I did pick up is that these guys haven't played each other bar one time in the 70s since just after the Second World War. Interesting. I think from what I saw in the TTF here, we've got that most of you going for a draw, surprisingly. I think Wilf's gone for a draw, and here he's back. And
my laptop just decided to restart then.
well, I froze as well for a bit.
Oh,
and
did
then
you?
Yeah. Then I realised it was me. So I was still going, but you had everything, so I kind of made it all up as we went along. But people didn't leave, so my blue face didn't upset them too much.
Thank you. Apologies for that, people. Yeah, my laptop. That's weird. That's never happened before. Expensive piece of equipment. I don't know. But anyways, I updated it, but that's not what we're here for. But so what was you talking about then? Sorry.
So I was just going through the stats as we had them, but then I then started talking about I think TTF are going for a draw in this game. We've got Wilf's gone for a 2-2, Moss has gone for a 1-1. And I think I saw Black and Blanco, he just went for a Brentford win because he doesn't like Man United.
There you go. Fair enough. Josh also went for a Brentford win. So if there was one edge in it, it'd probably be Brentford. But because we've got the majority, which is a draw at the moment, we're going to go with that unless somebody else comes with a Brentford win. And that'll add a spanner in the works. I knew Wilf was going to say something then. I thought that. I'm just glad that I got back in. I thought we would have shut the stream down, but I'm glad he didn't. Thank you for being here, Ed.
No problems.
That is this game. Let's go on to the next one now. Well, my prediction. I went for a 1-1. So I agree with the TTF here. I went for a 1-1 draw. Ed, what's your prediction for this one?
Well, I did all my predictions at the end of the weekend before I knew any of the pandemic related issues. So I went for a 2-0 Man United win.
Oh, okay. Let me put that on screen just so that people can see.
But this, like Rich and a few other people have said, I don't see this going ahead anyway. So
yeah, I don't see it going ahead. So we won't spend too much longer on that one, just in case. But yeah, we've got our predictions in. There's no point giving it like the big preview. But let's go into this one because this is an interesting one. Dean Smith up against his old club. Aston Villa managing as the Norwich manager now, Steven Gerrard, away from home. Not really a big game for him in this aspect. But in terms of injuries let's talk about Norwich's performance as we spoke about Manchester United. I was impressed with Norwich with how they played. Dean Smith really seems to be getting a string of things a lot more. The players seem to be working a lot harder, but it just goes to that lack of quality once again, which is why they wasn't able to take their chances against United. However, what do you see, Ed? What is their chances of staying up? Is it risen for you? Do you think they will stay up?
Watford? No.
No, Norwich.
No, sorry, Norwich. No, yeah. No, I don't. No. For me, I still, and I've said this since he came into the Premier League a couple of seasons ago, I just don't think Timo Pukki's good enough as a striker consistently when you're down the bottom of that table, and I've supported a team down the bottom of that table, you need a player that's going to put one of those chances away, and you're only going to get one or two chances in the Premier League. And for me, he's a bit like, if we harken back to players that I've watched, he's a bit like a Sylvain Ebanks-Blake. He's a bit like a Kevin Doyle, where in the lower leagues he'll get more chances to put them away, but in the Premier League, I don't see him. No.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I don't rate them, and I think there's too much missing in that midfield. Like I said before the last game. There's a lot. They're quite important players. Rashika, Norman, that are all out. I mean, Grant Hanley's no big miss, but his personality probably is, and his captaincy and his experiences. But
in all fairness, though, the midfield, I think that was their best aspect against United. They dominated. Billy Gilmour had a brilliant game. I really rate Billy Gilmour. I think he's a good player. and has a future at Chelsea, unfortunately. But that Lucas Rupp, the number 7 in midfield, he had a very good game. He was very tenacious. He had a bit of quality about him. I think midfield's probably their biggest strength in that side with how they move the ball, progress it. That's what Norwich have built. Give credit to Daniel Farke. He's built a good possession-based team. They're just toothless and they're just not very strong at both ends. But as the TTF have gone with their predictions, as you can see, the injuries and suspensions right there. The 2 unknown players. So yes, Moss, they are in troubles too. That is the reason why it is 2 unknown players. We'll find out who that could be. We don't know who it is. We don't even have any clues as of yet. But marvellous or not so marvellous. Well, he has been pretty decent since Gerrard's taken over. So marvellous Nakamba, yes, he gets that name. He is out with a knee injury. Matt Targett still remains a doubt. Traore also out. Trezeguet, Leon Bailey, who are both longer-term absentees with muscular issues. So look, what's the TTF saying? So we've got 2-2-0 Villas. We've got Josh and Grace.
And Wilf.
Hey, and Wilf. I was about to say the north side of the country is standing up right there, but no, they're not, because Wilf is south, and he's literally south of London too. So yeah, Norwich 1, Aston Villa 3. Interesting. So we've got Villa wins all over the board here. Everyone going for that one back in CVG.
2-0 for the 2-0 for the TTF is the outright winner.
And what did I go for? I can't remember what I went for this one. I went for a Villa win. Hey, TTF, I'm backing you today in this round of fixtures. I usually try and go for a bit of a rogue pick. We'll wait and see. And Ed, what's your prediction for this game, Norwich versus Villa?
I went for a 1-0 Villa win.
So you're backing the TTF as well?
I am.
So there we go. Here's Ed's 1-0 Villa win. This one's Ed's. So yes, big up yourself. Everyone's going for a win. Everyone's going for a Villa win. Hey, that means it's perfect time for Norwich to go and grab a result against Villa. Just like us. Hey, great minds think alike, Moss. We'll talk about great minds when we come to Arsenal, but we're not there yet. We are on Manchester City versus Leeds. For me, I think this is a pretty big game. What's your thoughts on this one, Ed?
Well, we know how much Pep loves Bielsa, right?
Yeah.
He kind of he absolutely loves him, doesn't he? So it's going to be an interesting one, as always, when Pep comes against another tactical manager. There's always a potential that it's who's going to out-tactic the other one, or who's going to tinker too much. But Leeds' last few games have looked like a much better team, much better team.
Yes.
There are some big losses still. Calvin Phillips, Patrick Bamford, big losses for them. But I was impressed with how they played against Chelsea. And I think Chelsea getting a couple of penalties. I think both penalties were penalties, by the way. But I think it's going to be interesting, this one. I've gone for, and I'll spoil it now, I went for a City win, but I only went 2-1 City. I think it's going to be close.
Oh, and B&B is going for a City by how many? That's the question. We've got Paxton going with a 3-0. Jesus, Sterling, brace. And we've got Man City 2-0. So everyone back in City here. Hey, let's not forget the old TTF. Let me remind you, last season with 10 men, Marcelo Bielsa's side did roll up to the Etihad and grabbed a 2-1 victory.
Well, last season on that tee, they were unbeaten against City. They got a draw.
Points.
They got a draw and a win, right?
Yeah, they were. And they were very unfortunate to not get a win at Ellen Road. So let's remember that. Let's remember that, people. But we've also, I don't think it's changing anything in terms of this game. We got a 4-2. Big up yourself, Louis, as well. Louis. He's got, yes, Louis, nice to see you, man. We got a 3-0 City win, so everyone's going for it. Let's see what I've said. Ed's gone with a little bit closer than you guys in the TTF. Ed went with a 2-1, but I went with a 3-0. So I'm siding with you, Louis, right there. Great minds think alike. Moss, yeah, I've gone for a little bit extra than you now. But I would be happy if there was goals in this game. I think there could be goals because of how both top sides approach this game.
And how easy you said City get penalties when it doesn't touch your hand.
Yeah, we need to talk about that. Hang on, I completely forgot about that. So, Ed, talk to me about that penalty decision. Guys in the chat, oh man, I should really do a poll on this one. Was this a penalty? Was this a penalty?
No. It hits him. It hits him here. Armpit.
Yeah.
Armpit. It's not. Max Kilman probably was a penalty, but that wasn't given. But it's been. What's his? It's John Moss, isn't it? Bottled it.
It's
Bottled
not,
it.
Yeah.
Went to VAR and VAR got it wrong. That's a clear and obvious error. But we were hanging on by a thread. We didn't play well at all. We took our rearguard action against Liverpool one step too far. We were time wasting after 4 minutes. Jimenez doing what he does, but it wasn't a penalty. It was not a penalty.
Yeah, there you go. For me, it's definitely not a penalty. And do you know what? The other one's not a penalty either because of the letter of the law. If the ball hits above your sleeve, this little sleeve here,
the t-shirt rule.
That's the t-shirt rule. And thankfully, Kilman's wearing short sleeves, so it makes it even clearer to see. So definitely not a penalty. Manchester City, very fortunate to pick up the win, even in the end with Max Kilman, my boy. Gareth Southgate, keeping an eye out on him now. Left-footed centre-back who can dribble the ball. Very good defensively. I really rate this guy. He's got a futsal background as well, people, if you didn't know. What's he got? Ukrainian parents, is it?
He's eligible for 3 countries, Ukraine, Russia, and England. So one of them will probably snap him up at some point.
Definitely. Yeah, there you go. Hey, not Canada, all right, Moss? Yeah, for once. It seems like loads of players are eligible for Canada now. I mean, I think I could be somewhere with my family heritage.
We've got the TTF arguing over the Chelsea, whether they were penalties or not. We'll get to that.
Hey, we'll get to that, TTF. Keep going, though. Keep going. I love this, though. This is what we want to get. This is what I'm trying to build the TTF about.
Definitely.
It's not just one fan, one club, not based around one club. It's based around so many. So this could be interesting. But yeah, I went for 3-0. Ed went for 2-1, and TTF went for a win. And let's go on to your boys. Ed, talk to me about your performance as a whole. Gonna make me some new super noodles. Talk to me about your performance in against Manchester City. Was you more impressed? Have you been impressed with the last two? Actually, let's talk about the last two.
No,
Liverpool and Man City.
No, I haven't. But I don't go for. I enjoyed Nuno's pragmatic football, but there was always the risk on the break. I don't think against Liverpool we tried.
Yeah,
our tactic was we went back to kick the ball to Adama against Liverpool and hope he could do something 60 yards out. You can't play a top 3 club in the world with that tactic. And then we went to Man City and it looked like we decided to not even bother trying with that tactic. We just went with I've never seen us, never, ever, ever seen us. I've never seen us time waste that early. And whatever Jimenez, he's out. He's ruined my FPL team. He's ruined my real life team with his silly antics. And I think all these people that are picking Wolves to score, I think if we score 9, Jay, I'll do the next stream naked. This is ridiculous. we don't have 9 shots in 3 games. So
it's true. It's true. I think you can actually say that and be safe.
Yeah. For stat fans like me, our XG is 0.78, which means we are guaranteed to make less than 1 good goal scoring opportunity.
Yeah.
So.
And so it is just 1 match because it was a yellow and then a red. But I don't know, he may get something extra for the way he walked off with that stupid antics. Also, about that one, Trossard doubt, because he did pick up that elbow injury. It's 50-50. I'd probably say more 75-25. There's a 75% chance of him playing. But he may be rested on the bench because look at the amount of injuries they've got already. I don't think they can afford to risk Trossard too much because look, Adam Lallana's a doubt, and we know how he recovers, what his injury record is like. I'm not really trusting him to be recover and play multiple games in a week. They've got their skipper Lewis Dunk out, Stephen Alzate, Danny Welbeck, Adam Webster. And who was it? I couldn't see. Raul's first yellow wasn't a yellow.
True.
Yeah, you are right. You're right. He's spot on. If he didn't, it would have been more of a debate if he didn't see the yellow card. But he did see it in the end because he went, he did that whole, But
there's a lot of players out for Brighton. Didn't
It's
quite
true.
realise.
Yeah.
Some
But
quite important players there too.
yes. So has that impacted your prediction?
No.
What did you go for in the
I've
end?
gone for a 0-0.
You went for a 0-0 draw.
Yeah, I've gone for a 0-0. I just don't see us predicting. I can't see us predict. I can't predict us to score at the minute.
Yeah.
Can't predict us to score. I think our defense is very, very good.
That's why I've only gone for the 1. Yeah. 1-1. Yeah. Not to the Brighton. I mean, not Brighton. Sorry, the Crystal Palace fans will love you for that, there, Moss. And imagine not having a Gallagher in your FPL. Hey, imagine, Louis. Let me tell you this, and everyone else, you guys will know this. I forgot to make my changes in the FPL this week. I missed that 6:30 deadline. I went to my team at 31 minutes past 6. Yeah, at 29 minutes to 7, and I missed it. It was too late. Thankfully, Connor G, my boy, slapped in that last minute. To make it 3-1, and it was what a goal that was as well, by the way. Sorry for that one there. I'm in the middle of a stream. Stop calling me. But yes, what a way, Conor Gallagher. I'm happy there. I'm over the moon. Big up yourself, United Ferbs. West Ham coming to put the pause on Arsenal. We'll get into that one there first, but big up yourself. Nice seeing you. And get your predictions in for the games coming up as well. We'll have to wait and see. I've gone with the Brighton win. Sorry, Ed. Sorry with that one. I just don't think you'll score. I think Brighton will probably dominate the game.
Also, Wolves Brighton games. Again, this is only something you'll know if you're a fan of either team. Yeah. I think historically we draw all of these games. I think the last 5 games we won 1, and all the other 4 have all been draws. And the last game before the pandemic was Brighton Wolves at Wolves, and it was the most boring game of football I've ever seen. And I've watched Wolves play Stoke under Tony Pulis playing for throw-ins. So yeah, it was a dreadful game.
Okay, there you go. And let's go into. I've got it on the thumbnail because it is a relegation 6-pointer in the end. It's Ed's favourite team in Burnley, as it, I always like to say, against Watford. As you can see, there's injuries and suspensions. I don't think I actually changed Burnley's. I may be incorrect with those. Don't get me wrong, but I know I took 1 out for Watford, so their injury list is easing up. It's Ken Sema who's returned for Watford, so he should be available to play. But I don't think he may not start because they do have the likes of Josh King, Emmanuel Dennis. I've just brought Josh King for Raul Jimenez, who I was meant to do anyway. But Raul Jimenez came on and got me -2 points, so I'm happy.
What a season Emmanuel Dennis is having, by the way.
Hey,
only Mo Salah's got more goals and assists in the Premier League.
Really? Wow. Yeah. Imagine I had Emmanuel Dennis for the first game week on FPL. He was 5 million. Now he's like 5
he was cheap. He was cheap.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know what I've done. I dropped him. I don't know why. Watford Dennis hat trick only for my FPL. Hey, Louis, as a Crystal Palace fan, be careful. Nate's in here. But so we've got a 1-0 Watford win. We've got a draw. He's backing Burnley to score. Are you believing in Paxton? Are you going to back Burnley to score in this game?
I have. I've said this is going to be 1-1.
Oh, 1-1. So he's agreeing with you right there. Yeah. Are you agreeing with the goal scorers?
Is Wood's fit, right? So he's probably their best chance. So Wood or Dwight McNeil and Emmanuel Dennis or Josh King, I think.
Josh King.
For the betting people out there like Moss, I think they're the people that you might want to chuck a quid on.
There you go. Hey, people back in Watford though.
A lot of 2-1s.
Yeah, I did have 1-0 to Burnley, but he's changing it to a draw. Hey, you're doing a G Staffy right there, changing your predictions last minute. It never ends well, Moss. I know you're going to be.
Doesn't.
It never ends well. Don't second guess on FPL either. It never ends well. Dennis and Wood, he's gone with the same as Paxton right there. What did I go for? Hey, I backed Burnley. I don't know why. I don't know why. I'm thinking, why did I do that? Because I need Josh King to score. And do you know what? Watford are pretty decent at scoring goals, especially away from home. They scored quite a few this season. I think they are a team that's set up to play away from home too in Watford, with how they play in counter-attack and,
Ranieri.
Yeah. And they do have the quality going forward. Bearing in mind, when you look at their injury list, sorry, just to go back, they're missing Ismail Assar in there as well. Who to me, he's probably the only Premier League player, as you said, because they were missing. But Brentford were missing Ivan Toney and Watford were missing Ismail Assar, the two real Premier League players who were missing, which made it a championship game in the end. But yeah, I think Burnley are going to edge this. Sean Dyche.
It's also interesting to remember that Watford on the back of 4 losses on the trot, even though their performances are looking better. And the history of this game is that Burnley win it more often than they don't. And Burnley's record is 4 draws instead of the 4 losses. So Burnley are in slightly better form, even though Watford's performances haven't actually been that bad.
It's true. There you go. And you're right, Moss. You shouldn't have changed. We should, you know what? Great minds think alike, but it's too late now. You've changed. But I think the TTF have gone for a Watford win, which is the opposite to me. So back in Brexit FC, you are correct indeed. But as Ferbs has said, Watford has been playing so much better since Ranieri came in. I agree with you on that one. And a part of those 4 losses was what? Man City and Chelsea in there.
Yeah.
And who else? Brentford, Man City, Chelsea, Leicester.
Yeah, that's and then they had the win against United.
Oh yeah. Forgot about that. Team Money back in Burnley. Did you? Hey, in the freeze, yeah. Nah, but we'll see. We'll see, CB. We'll see. But we're going on to a lot of you, Louis. Get your chatting, get your predictions in, and as well as everyone else for this Crystal Palace versus Southampton game. Remember, we've got Crystal Palace fans in the chat, and let's talk about Crystal Palace and let's talk about Conor Gallagher. Did you see that goal, Ed?
Of course, yeah. It's one of those shots that you take at the end of the game when the ball's at the other end, and you think maybe it's going to go in, maybe it's not. But what a strike! What a strike! What a player! We saw it last year. We saw it last year at the Albion, and he's just kicked on under a better manager and a better system with better players around him. He's playing better.
Very true. And you know what? Just to take, I'm sorry, Palace fans. I don't mean to do it on purpose. I watched it back today. I think Pickford's positioning was a bit poor.
You can say that before any shot Pickford ever lets in.
True. That's a good point. You could tell because of the whole situation where Seamus Coleman I don't know what he tries to do. Tries to get Schluck booked or something for standing where the ball, but kicks it right through his legs, and then it's just a mess from there. And Pickford wasn't prepared for it at all. But the strike, in off the bar, you love it.
Yeah, there's no better sight in football than a shot off the bar.
And Rich was right above it as well, where Rich was sitting. So yeah, 3-1. Yeah, just like in the previous game, we got Ferbs with a 2-1 Palace. Josh also went for a 3-1. Everyone's back in Palace. Look at that 6-1 Palace. That's just being salty. It's not. It is. I'm just adding a bit of balance to it. That's all I'm doing. Hey, salt and sweet. I like it. Just not my popcorn. 2-1, and so does Jacob. 2-1 Palace. So everyone's going Palace, plus Southampton as well get battered. I understand that. And you know what? Southampton have been battered in dark games. I know that, where it's night. I remember in the midweek last season, certain Manchester United beat 9-0.
Yeah. And then the year before, that was the middle of Leicester, wasn't it? That was another.
Yeah, 9-0 at home. That was.
I find Southampton interesting because it was a bit of a coup, them getting Hasenhüttl, wasn't it? He was highly rated, and they'd had this Pochettino and all that kind of they were the springboard for not just Liverpool players, but managers that go on to bigger and better things. But they've really got stuck here, and obviously their goalkeepers are out, which means that Caballero was nowhere for most of those Arsenal goals.
No.
So I back Palace in this. I back them to win 3-0.
I back Palace. I went 1-0. I don't know. I think I copied and pasted that from the Burnley one. Yeah. I'm changing that. To. I'm going 3-0. I'm going to go 3-0 Palace here. I may rue that. I may have done a Moss and rude that. I've gone 3-0 Palace. What have you gone for, bro?
I went 3-0. 3-0.
Oh, you went 3-0? I'm changing it. I'm going 3-1. I can't go with the same. I have to go with something different. I'm trying to catch you up. 3-1. 3-1 it is. But let's talk about Arsenal versus West Ham. Remember, people in the chat, as I said, we've got Palace fans, and you know what? The chat seemed to respond to you. So Palace fans, can you respond well to us? And Ed, let's talk about Arsenal because there's a few things I want to talk about right now. And guys, I want to hear your thoughts in the chat. There's going to be a few topics that we're talking about, but let's talk about the performance first. You saw the goals. Ed, talk to me about the first one because I want to hear opposition fans' point of view on that wonderful goal.
Is this the wonderful goal that Ramsdale almost got caught out on? That
hey, take risks. Yeah.
No, it was a wonderful goal. It wasn't Arsenal of old, technically. I don't think there was quite enough intricacy. Like you did with Pickford, take it that you were playing Southampton and a very poor Southampton side at the minute, but it was a lovely move. Laka doing what Laka does, which is, I think, he's a good finisher. Personally, I just don't think he gets the chances in the middle. I thought the whole thing was a bit of a statement win. Personally, I think with the Aubameyang stuff that I think you want to touch on as an Arsenal fan. It's I loved the first goal, and I thought the other two were nice, tidy goals too. And I thought it was a very, very good performance. And for me, it was the first time I've seen the players playing for Arteta.
Yep.
And not just playing. I think so. I think he's gone out again. Last time he hung Aubameyang out to dry for me, and I don't think the players took to that very well. But there seems to be a little bit of a change now. He's got a few more of his own players in, and it felt like a team performance that game from what I've seen.
Yeah. Well, the last time he did drop Aubameyang for being late in the North London derby, there was a reaction then from the players, I thought. And with Lacazette and how he plays anyway, I've always said this, we play better as a team. It's just that Lacazette is a better finisher, no doubt about that. He takes more of his chances, but he doesn't get in those positions enough for me to take those chances. And his movement, because I think he works so hard for other players and to link up play well. We've struggled with Lacazette because we haven't had enough goals coming from the team. But now we've got I'm going to stop with the 9-0, say 8. Look at that. 3-2 West Ham, no. That's what he's going in all seriousness. But Moss's son, his son himself, the Norwegian sensation, Martin Ødegaard, 3 goals in 3. Yes, granted, the 2 of them were in defeats, the other 2. But now I'm seeing another goal-scoring option on the pitch with Emile Smith-Rowe on the bench. There was a lot of good performances in this game. I watched it at 3:00, and wow. I was very impressed with Tomiyasu. What a player. He was my man of the match. Takehiro Tomiyasu. I thought Ben White was assured, very good on the ball. You know, that's what you get from Ben White. Gabriel was pretty good, apart from those opening 15 minutes where he gave the ball away. He does seem to have that in his game. I remember him doing the exact same thing against Everton, but he's a young centre-back. Kieran Tierney looked well. Going on that left-hand side provides much more balance going forward and in defence than the likes of Nuno Tavares in midfield. Granit Xhaka, once again, helping, getting the best out of Thomas Partey. I thought Thomas Partey was much better than he was against Everton. I was very impressed to see Thomas Partey improve his performance. Let's hope he can do this against this West Ham side, though, because this is going to be a much more difficult test. We'll talk about West Ham until I get into the next topic. And just that, TT is Tereak Talks MVP of the season, Tommy Boy. He's proven me wrong. I've openly said I've had doubts about Tomiyasu long term, if he can do this at the level going forward. But defensively, 1v1, I'm very impressed. He has had some games where he's struggled against Brighton. But how old is Tomiyasu? 23? 22, 23?
Yeah, he's not old.
Exactly. He's about my age. It's weird to think that, yeah. So, fair play, Tomiyasu. And big up yourself, know-how. Ed, you and T need to brighten up your backgrounds. Yes, I do. And thanks for reminding me, actually, because I need to get the sticky thing for it. But before I go into that, Ed, I'm about to give you a question. And TTF, let me know. Would you strip Aubameyang of Arsenal captaincy right now? And who would you make captain? Because I've got my choice and it's a bit controversial.
Yes, I would. But I would never have given it to him in the first place, personally. I'm not a big fan of centre forwards being captains. Even talismanic players like Shearer and Kane and stuff like that. I'm not a big fan of that. I just don't think they can affect the game. Gabriel or Kieran Tierney, I think, are born leaders. So I would potentially go for one of those. I think if Kieran Tierney is guaranteed left back, obviously Nuno is pushing him. But Kieran Tierney for me is a born leader. He's a man's man, even though he's very, very young. Still, he's just been around for a long time. He did a very good job as Celtic captain. So him, Gabriel, I think Gabriel looks like a bit of a man mountain. I don't know if he's got the dressing room. I don't know enough about Arsenal to know that. So maybe, but they'd be my two. No, I love Xhaka, but don't give it to Xhaka. So yeah, they'd be my two. They'd be my two. And then Grace has come straight back in, and she's had her super noodles, and is back in West Ham.
And now she's doing my parade.
Important thing though, Grace, just while we're on this, just drop in the chat what flavour you had. I love super noodles. We eat them a lot in this house.
Hey, and look what he says right there. Don't you offend the best Premier League striker of all time, Thierry Henry. Yes, don't do that. Sorry, Josh. But do you know what? I would make, if this is my choice, it's Gabriel all day long. Because my choice for captain, and look at B&B there, Ober out, definitely can't be captain. I wouldn't have made him captain in the first place. I think that's Unai Emery's mistake and the lack of control he had in the dressing room. And he's very weak, Unai Emery was, in terms of those decisions. And you need to be very strong. And that's what you got to give credit to Arteta. He doesn't bend and fold to any fans, really. And fair play to him for doing and making the decisions that he did. For me, Gabriel, one, because your captain needs to play most games. For me, to be a good captain, it has to be one of the most important players. Not the best player, but one of the most important players. Gabriel is certainly that. Two, very vocal, leader, commanding. We see how his relationship with the players and how he talks to the likes of Saka, and he leads by example as well with Gabriel. And for what I see in the long term with Gabriel, he's going to be at Arsenal for the long term. So if we're looking long term, I'm going Gabriel over Tierney because he plays more and he's more reliable in terms of playing more fitness. I would go with Gabriel over, who else is really there? Ramsdale at the moment, because Ramsdale's only just come in. It could be a purple patch. I would go Gabriel over Ødegaard because I don't really want my number 10 being a captain either. That's just a personal preference. And but do you know who I would go for if I was Mikel Arteta? If he's not sure on who the captain should be, if he's not sure if it's Gabriel, I agree with Paxton. I think he should go for Granit Xhaka. And do you want to know? Hey, guys, don't shoot me down. I would go for Granit Xhaka because
I'm hoping his internet freezes, TTF, and I'll take over. He's lost it.
Why?
Xhaka. No.
Ed, what I want from my captain, what I want from my captain is
a petulant child that gets sent off all the time.
No. Hey, let's not forget. I know he was much better, but Patrick Vieira used to be petulant and get himself sent off.
Different time.
But I want my captain to face adversity. And this is a very young team. If this is Mikel Arteta choosing it and he's not sure on Gabriel, for me, Gabriel's the captain. But if he's not sure, you've got to go for Granit Xhaka. He's important to Mikel Arteta's team. He plays every time. He came back from a long-term injury and played the whole 90 minutes in 2 games. He's a leader, whether we like it or not. He's a captain without the captain's armband. Maybe the captain's armband is probably a bit too much with the fans, and the fans in the stadium will never fully forgive Xhaka for that. I think you're right. That's why I would go for Gabriel. But because Mikel Arteta doesn't really care about fans and doesn't care about what fans think, he is a leader, whether we like it or not. I really like what I've seen from Granit Xhaka. When I've seen him play live, he doesn't stop talking. He talks more than anyone else on that pitch for Arsenal. And that's what you need from your captain. Yes, you can't trust him, CB. I say that. He is prone to an error. And I agree with that. That's what I wouldn't go with him. But he is one of the leaders that are in there. And out of the experience lot, if Arteta's not sure, who would you give it to experience-wise? Lacazette, who's about to leave. Who else have we got? Thomas Partey, who can't string a run of performances together.
No, he's too injury prone as well.
Exactly. Who else? Who else do we have that's experienced? So, do you know what I mean? Like, there's no one else apart from Xhaka if you're gonna go for the short term captain. In my eyes, I know it's a mad shout, and I know it's a crazy shout, but for me, hey, Moss is saying it's silly stuff. Holding for club captain. No way. He doesn't play. He doesn't play enough. He doesn't play enough for me. Captain on the C, but assistants still have it too. Naming one captain, yeah. But that's for me. That's because he'll play and he'll play consistent minutes. But out of the experience lot, it's Granit Xhaka for me. But for me, I would go with Gabriel. But let's talk about West Ham now. We spent a lot of time on Arsenal. 0-0 against Burnley. Away from home, I think their record hasn't been that great looking at it away from home in recent games. Ed, could you have...
Their record over the last 5 games hasn't been great. It's 2 losses, 2 draws, and a win. They're in their worst patch of form.
Yes, they drew to Burnley away from home, Man City, lost to Wolves, and the last time they won away from home, if I'm correct, was Leeds in the 25th of September.
Yeah, and when Leeds were in a real funk.
There you go. And that was a last-minute winner as well, wasn't it, at the end? So, hey, there is a bit of optimism for Arsenal fans there. So I know we've got a lot of the predictions in and people got them in early. Big up yourself as well. Ed, nice to see you there. I'm doing well. How are you, Ed?
Yeah, all good. I'm on daddy duty, but he's quiet, so I think he's asleep. So it's all good here.
Exactly. And in terms of predictions, I've gone with a 2-2 draw. I'll be happy with that as well. Relatively happy. Obviously, I want to win ideally, but given the team we're facing against, I'd be relatively happy. Ed, what's your thoughts?
So I've looked at the TTF. There's quite a lot of people have gone with 2-1 to Arsenal, and that's what I went for. 2-1.
Yeah, you think we'll win?
2-1 to the Gunners. I think West Ham are in a struggling patch at the moment, and I just think that Arsenal, on the back of quite a big win against a poor Southampton side, but doing what good sides should do, and that's put them away. So I've gone for, I went for a 2-1 Arsenal win, and there was 4 or 5. I
think
2-1s at the start. There was a few to West Ham as well, but I think
there might be more draws, than I think there might be more draws on West Ham. I think Know-how's edged it to West Ham. Yeah, the TTF, because we've got 3 West Ham wins, 2 Arsenals, and then 2 draws. So I think it might... Guys, get your predictions in if you haven't done so already. Appreciate that, Santi. No more Mario and Luigi. But yeah, what did you went for a 2-1.
2-1.
So yeah, I think the TTF may have edged a West Ham win here. Santi, what's your prediction? This is the decider. Santi, get your prediction in as quickly as possible. We'll move on to the next game whilst you do that anyway, for the Arsenal versus West Ham game. Let's go into this one, which is
Leicester. Look at that.
And that's ridiculous. And do you want to know why? Because of you know the dreaded, you know what? That's the one. Yeah. They're all doubts, by the way, for Spurs, because who knows who may return and who may not, who return fits, who returns in different shape and different ways. But yeah, what are you going to go for in this one? Oh, he's gone.
I think that's it. I think that is what most people have said.
Yeah, I think that's it now.
Cheers, Santi.
Hey, I hope you're right. TTF, I'll take that. I went for a 2-2. I went with the same as, I think, Paxton and Josh went for a 2-2.
Yeah, I think so.
I went to the same as them.
I think, is this game going ahead back to Leicester Spurs?
Yes, it is going ahead, I believe,
Um,
because
I just
Spurs,
can't. Spurs seem to get every game off at the moment, so I just wondered if they'll get
tell me
another
about
one.
it. Tell me about it. But Spurs, they returned back to training yesterday afternoon,
Right.
which is quite ironic, don't you think? Because they're supposed to be playing yesterday afternoon.
Yeah. Well, are they also? I think they're going to be their Conference League, right? They've got to be chucked out of that, right? For not.
Yeah, they're going to be chucked out.
Did you see that? I can't remember. Was it Rapid Vienna they were supposed to play? Is it? Or is that who they've got now? If they get through, I can't remember.
I think if they get through, it's Rapid Vienna. But
Correct.
Vitesse
But
would. They played their game in the wood. So
well, that's the thing. But the Spurs didn't let the other team know that they weren't fulfilling their fixture. They found out via Twitter when Tottenham said that they weren't going to. They weren't able to fulfil the fixture, and that's when the opponents knew.
Hey, that's when you should kick them out just for that. I know there's a bit of an Arsenal bias there, but for that alone,
a lot of an Arsenal bias there.
Yeah, a little bit. But yeah, big up yourself as well, Roland. I can see you there. Appreciate the love and support, man. And I don't know if you saw the pen, but I didn't actually see it. I might have a look at it right now. Did you see it, Ed?
Which penalty? Is that the Maddison one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I think it's a weird one. It's a penalty and it's also a dive.
Okay.
I think it's a bit of both. I'd be annoyed if my team didn't get it if it was against me, but I'd be also annoyed if it was given against me, which is probably where Josh is now with the Newcastle bias. For the record, I thought Newcastle played quite well for the first half an hour or so. So I thought it was a bit of both. I thought it was a bit of both, and I'm trying to take off I'm not a big fan of Maddison.
Yeah, you're trying to take off that Maddison and Mount hat.
Yeah,
that's not a penalty for me. No.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of both. I do.
Yeah, he's put his foot there. He's played for the penalty, hasn't he? And the referees are supposed to be eradicating playing for penalties because they've said not every bit of contact's a penalty anymore. Maddison, diver, exactly. But yeah, it's poor play at the back though, isn't it? For Newcastle, that puts them in that predicament anyway. It didn't even get checked.
Don't get me started on VAR, Josh. We'll be until midnight.
Exactly. But big up everyone watching. We've got 18 people so far.
We have.
Make sure you hit that like button. Appreciate that one there, people. But then also, in terms of predictions, this is going to be 50-50. Copied and paste, surely. Copied and paste. I'm going for a Leicester win. I wrote this down. No, change my mind. I'm going for a 2-2. Yeah, I remember. I wrote this down. I'm going for a 2-2 draw here. What about you, bro? What about you, TTF? What have you gone for?
Yeah, I think there's been only a few people I think have put in so far. I think I saw very early on Grace put a 2-0 to Leicester in.
Yeah.
We had a 2-1 there. Obviously, Wilf's never, ever going to go for the potatoes, is he? So I've gone for a 1-1 on this one.
Okay, so you're going for a draw as well.
I think we've got an injury pandemic hit a couple of teams.
For real. Yeah.
So I'm going with it might be it's a busy period. I think this might be what they're saying the NBA is a schedule loss, isn't it? When there's so many games, and I think this might be one of those games where we're going to have a few players that don't normally play that are going to get a run out, and I think it's going to be a bit of a scrappy score draw. So 1-1.
No cohesion, bit of a lot of balls being like lost all over the place. I know what you mean. Like loads of throw-ins, free kicks, goal kicks, and that. Yeah, because they just can't keep the ball on the pitch because they haven't got the sharpness. Josh has gone for a 2-0 Tottenham win, though. Leicester can get gone after that one. Makes sense.
Paxton and Moss have both gone for 1-0 Leicester wins.
Interesting. So yeah, we've got two 2-2-1s to Leicester.
Yeah. And 2 1-0s.
And 2 1-0s. Hey, guys, if you can chuck one in afterwards or in the comments afterwards as well, if you watch it later.
We're gonna need a decider on that one.
We're gonna need a decider because we've got 2 1s and 1-0. So yeah. Let's go into this one. Chelsea versus Everton. Chelsea winning by 3-2. We spoke about that game briefly. What's your thoughts on Chelsea at the moment, Ed? Not looking as strong at the back.
They're not, but they're still picking up wins. So if you go by the old adage of winning ugly, they're managing to do it, aren't they? At the minute, they're on the back of 2 draws, 2 wins, and a loss, so their form isn't what it was. But yeah, I still don't. I'm not a big advocate for this Everton team, and if Richarlison's a doubt, Alan's a doubt, and DCL isn't due back until Boxing Day at the earliest. But it was an interesting performance by them at the weekend. I thought Leeds pushed them hard, played very well, and Chelsea, through an unlikely hero in Rudiger getting 2 penalties, pulled something out the bag. And I think Jorginho's penalties, I'm glad he's better at them now because he's in my FPL team than he was in the summer against England.
I know.
So I've gone for a Chelsea win on this. I've gone for 2-0. Interesting. How do we feel about Lukaku? There was a big fanfare when he came back.
Yeah, I was one of them. I'm gonna listen, TTF. I don't get it wrong often, but I've got it. I'm joking. I do definitely. I've got it wrong here. I said Lukaku would be top goal scorer. Did you? I think you said that as well, didn't you, Ed?
Yeah.
It's not working out at all. They're not looking. They don't play to his game. I feel that Lukaku needs to play. They need to go everything through him for them to do well, and it doesn't seem to be playing that way. They play a lot more through Mason Mount in recent weeks. Might be chucking into my FPL. Keep your eyes out on that one, people. Ed, in particular. If we see Mason Mount in Ed's FPL team, guys, TTF, I think there's a forfeit that he needs to do.
Why?
After all that, TTF, you may have not have seen all the slating because I wish I started the YouTube channel during the Euros. He wasn't great, but it was funny listening to Ed throughout all of that. But yeah, I wish TTF was there. It may be there for 2022. We'll see. But so if TTF hold him to that, I know Moss will definitely remember that. but Mason Mount, he's starting to pick up a little bit of form.
He is. He's playing well.
He is, and fair play to him. And you know what? It seems to be going through him and not Lukaku in that way. And Lukaku needs the ball to feet, and he always wants the ball to feet. He wants to try it. The best of Lukaku was at Inter Milan, and that's when he was driving at players. And on the counter attack, having a link-up man to play with him just doesn't seem to be working. Seems quite isolated. And we're going to have to wait and see because he's still yet to fully return from his injury, that ankle injury he sustained in the Champions League. But Everton, they're shocking. And I went for 4-1. I think Lukaku may bag himself a goal. Chelsea, they will concede because... actually, I can't even guarantee that they'll concede. And whoa. You seen that?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that. Wow.
Yeah, there's been a few things on Twitter. It's been in the group, I think, where that's come from. How desperate you must be to want to go with the Ferris wheel himself.
Exactly, the Ferris wheel. Shows how bad Serie A is. Still getting over injury. True. Good
Potentially.
Good point, B&B. I don't know if is it B&B. Are you saying that as in still getting over injury like time, or are you saying still getting over injury like he may be? Probably because you're an Arsenal fan. Probably saying more the time factor. But yeah, Werner Brace, interesting there. 3-0 Chelsea. G Staffy. Hey, why is everyone? I knew that was coming.
Yeah, Chelsea in those days, Wilf. You wouldn't have been very welcome, and I don't think many other people were.
No way, exactly.
Yeah,
I've heard a lot of stories about that. So, hey, it is what it is, and yet, but it's since the 80s. Totally understand that, CB. But yeah, Liverpool. I think this is the final game. Yes, it is. Oh, there's my prediction. Sorry, Josh. I know you've seen that one there. Liverpool versus Newcastle. Josh, what's your predictions on it? And Ed, what's your thoughts on this game? Are you going to be watching it?
Well, Liverpool-Newcastle back in the day was a match and a half. In the 90s, it were always guaranteed some goals. I'll be watching it. Like I said, I was impressed with Newcastle against Leicester for that opening half an hour or so. I was impressed with them in their win against Burnley. They seem to have upturning form, but I have gone for a Liverpool 3-1. Don't quite know where the one's coming from Newcastle, But it's going to be an interesting game. Obviously, Newcastle last year got 2 draws against Liverpool, which is an interesting stat, which I didn't realise until I was doing the work. So although Josh is being really, really positive here, he's even more positive than I was with Wolves. So,
I know. 3-0 to the Red Roosters. There you go. And then we got Mustard Cat. Big up yourself, Mustard Cat. He went for 3-1 to Chelsea. I think that makes it, doesn't it? 3-1 Chelsea.
It was between 3-1 and 3-0, I think. So yeah.
Mustard Cat, big up yourself. Unless they play a worse team, I doubt it. Because they rested a lot of their key players and were able to rotate for the AC Milan game a week ago. And even though I've been watching football all my life, I still have no clue what the offside rule is, and I've tried to understand it.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry. Hey, Jay, little inside story here. I was playing Jacob at FIFA, and he was calling goal kicks offside. So we said not to worry about it until he gets to about how old would you say?
I don't know if you ever really understand it. We got VAR. He'll have VAR, so you probably won't ever need to.
Grace, I've been watching football. Ed, I don't think we quite understand the offside rule either nowadays.
It changes all the time, Grace. Don't worry about it.
It does change. Hey, CB, it changes all the time too, man. Don't worry. Look at Richarlison. but yeah. So my prediction was 5-0. What did you go for?
I went for 3-1.
Oh yeah, you said forgot you said 3-1. CB's agreeing with you there. Big Wilf himself. What are you going for? What did Moss go for? Moss went for a 3-2 Chelsea. VAR is killing offsides. Moss, what are you going for?
Josh is going mad here. How out? We're the richest club in the world, and we have Eddie Howe. I don't even know if he's trolling or not.
I know. I don't know exactly. Josh, are you trolling? Are you being serious? Because honestly, I don't see who you would get in if you was to get Eddie Howe out. Seriously, like you can't make signings like that in January. At least I think Eddie Howe would get you back up in the Premier League, and then you can probably move on from then. And he's being serious as well, he says. But yeah, Eddie Howe, I think you're getting relegated now, Josh. Didn't I call it a few weeks ago? I just thought it's too much of a mountain to climb.
Yeah. Like I said, I've seen slightly better, but I think the issue that you have, and I think it's something that the Newcastle fan you had on a few weeks ago, I forgot his name now. Adam Pearson, is it?
Yeah.
They've got awful defenders. That's the biggest issue. Jamal Lascelles is a championship defender. Kieran Clark is a championship defender at best. You've just not got enough. Not enough at the back. And my team, Wolves, very similar style to Newcastle, similar big fan base, one city club, blah blah blah. But you need that defensive solidity to get anything out of games, and if you haven't got it, there's only so much ASM and Callum Wilson, when he's fit, are going to be able to pull you out of it.
Exactly. And for me, it's that midfield once again. That's Josh, that's where you really need to sign. Midfield and defence. I know you've been calling for it especially, and it's too much of a job. And to get players in the January window to really adapt into the midfield. January, I can't even pronounce it. I'm getting tired now, people. January window, is difficult to sign players within the Premier League. Players that would want to make a move to Newcastle within the Premier League. You'll be getting players that are low on minutes. Maybe you could get someone like an AZ Maitland-Niles, but is he going to make much of a difference in the midfield? And that's just thinking of someone from me. I was about to say, Ed, do you have anyone? But you literally have nobody in the midfield. No. And that's where you need to improve. And look, let's be honest. If Wolves and Newcastle are going for a player, you're going to have to offer ridiculous wages for that player to go, because there's much more of a prospect for that midfielder to be playing in European football or playing much better style of football. And there's football at the end of the day, it's difficult. And he says Wijnaldum might be returning though, who's also been linked to Arsenal. He just signed for 6 months ago. However, there is rumours that he can on loan.
There's a lot of rumours from reputable sources on Wijnaldum not being happy, and then move back to the Premier League.
Ollie in to build the team and bring us to glory.
Well, why not? Why not? You might as well try.
It's true. It's true. And yeah, do you know what? I think that's the last. Before we go off, CB, before you go, that's not the updated scores. Ed, tell the people what is the updated scores.
So the updated scores is that, bear with me, let me just move over on my spreadsheet, that we are on, I'm on 48, so I'm in the lead. The TTF are second with 42, and the host and main player on this channel is on 37. So TTF, you're 5 in front and 6 behind me, but there's a lot of different predictions this week. So
what's your score? Sorry,
I'm on 48.
48. Ed,
TTF 42, and you're on 37.
42. So, and then I'm on 37. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm not making up any ground, but I'm not losing any either. So I'm not too bad. I'm not too unhappy about that. But as you can see there, Ed's on 48, 42 for the TTF, and 37 for me. It's still an 11-point gap between me and top, and then TTF smack bang in the middle. Hopefully that will change in midweek. I do need it. 11 behind the lead. I did say I get a lot of things wrong. But yeah, just remember, there's people leaving now. And do you know what? I should have brought this earlier. I should have done it right at the start. But thank you. Thank you very much to Ed and Know-How and Tishi as well for this, people. This is to brighten up the background. If you haven't seen it, let me have a look. As you can see right there, 100 head. You know that big head's up on screen. We've got 100 head. We've got 62 consistency. You know that, people. TTF may go lower than that. 98 knowledge. Well, with these predictions, I'm not too sure about that. 99 banter. Very generous. 73 organisation. I'll take that. I'll take that. And 95 trim. Hey. I think that one's the harsh one. Look at that. Waves. Ed can write surf on that. I'm sorry. But yeah. It is class, isn't it? And there's me. I just need my captain's armband in there. Couldn't quite fit in. 99 rated. So, yeah, I'll take that. Thank you very much, guys. This will be up in the background. Can't wait to put it on. You got a nice little bit of orange there. And do you know what? If you don't know what this card is, it's what is it, Ed? Tell him what it is.
It's a one to watch.
Hey, TTF, do you agree that this face is a one to watch? Let me know. Or is it this one? We all know it's that one, really. But I appreciate everyone for coming on. And hey, we got that. It's class. I knew you had to stay for it. We're gonna have to show CB in the watch along that I will be doing on Wednesday for sure. The Arsenal game looking good. Manscaped 98. Hey, there you go. You could chuck Manscaped 98 in there. And
only if they come through for a sponsorship.
Exactly there. 100. There you go. I'm happy with that. Thank you so much. And this is going to be a nice bit of scenery. Right there, as you can see right there. You can see that big head from a mile away, can't you? There you go. Thank you once again for everyone for joining. Thank you, bro. Stay tuned because we will be bringing you, myself or Ed, depending on Ed's schedule, but I'll definitely be bringing you the review/preview again for the weekend's games on Friday. There's not a Friday night game, is there? No,
not this week.
So yeah, I'll be bringing you on Friday. So stay tuned for that. If in the next part of this, where you guys get all your and Know-How's just logged in. We're just talking about this wonderful piece of beauty right here that I'm getting all my fingerprints on my paws. So yeah, make sure you need to keep it clean. But yes, also I will be here guaranteed for the Arsenal versus West Ham watch along. I will be there for that, Moss. You can come and join me right here. On Tuesday, what games are happening tomorrow? On Tuesday, which ones did we? I'm gonna have a look. I'm just having a look for the stream. Brentford, Man United, if it happens. Man City Leeds. I think that's a good shout. Man City Leeds
That's
tomorrow.
That's the best of that bunch because you don't want to be doing Norwich, Villa, or the Brentford.
I'll be doing Garrett. There you go. I'm doing a Man City Leeds because I want to watch that game as well. I think it'd be interesting to watch. I will be doing Man City Leeds tomorrow. Stay tuned for that one. Arsenal, West Ham on Wednesday, and then on Thursday, do you know who I haven't done Chelsea for a while, have I?
No,
I haven't
do
done
one for
Chelsea.
Grace.
I'll do one for Grace there. Yeah, I'll do one for Chelsea on Thursday, and then catch me on Friday, and then Saturday we all start again. Arsenal versus Leeds away from home. So yes, people, thank you very much, and also go check out the new Insta Tereak_talks. I will be posting content on there too. I will be posting content all over the place. I'm going to make sure I make content for Instagram and TikTok, which is easily transferable. So whichever preferred platform of your choice, go check me out there. And you can get in the DMs, get chatting about football and loads of other things. And you can send me things too. I don't mind that. Football related, or or anything. It could be anything in all fairness, but not anything. All right, yeah. I'm just saying anything, but not anything.
Not anything.
yeah. But yes, people, thank you very much. And it is a one to watch card. And yes, thank you, people. I hope you all have a great week and don't go anywhere. Just dropped in to say hi, and I'm just saying, just dropping out to say thank you. Thank you,
And
Sid.
bye.
Thank you, and bye. Appreciate it.